Wow, what a game. It's you always feel good after a win. I think everybody in that locker room is pretty exhausted right now, including myself, and I wasn't out there playing. But just that was the epitome of resiliency from our football team, and I couldn't be more proud of those guys. It was far from perfect. I think a lot of that you got to give the Bengals a ton of credit. I got so much respect for their coaches, their players. I think Zach's done an unbelievable job instilling just a great culture there. And then when you combine that with really good players, then you got a chance each and every week. And I think that it was just a hard-fought football game. Apologize to all the Packer fans out there. I'm sure there was some high blood pressure going on throughout the entirety of the game, especially there at the end. But bottom line is we're 4-1, and you don't get style points. So, however we find ways to win, that's going to benefit us, I think, later in the season.
Was there any point, Matt, where you just said we cannot try another field goal? We got to win it another way, or no?
Yeah, Rob, that definitely crossed my mind. Certainly, especially there at the end when it was just 4th and inches. But Mo was calling for the field goal. I went over to Mason. I could see the look in his eyes. There was zero flinch from him, and that's what we talk about all the time. I couldn't be happier for him. I told the team afterwards, I was like, the only kick I'll remember is that last kick. So it wasn't pretty. I know that. I realize that, and it starts with me. I got to be a lot better for our guys, but I was super proud of just how we responded, because there was moments there where it wasn't looking too good for us, and those guys kept believing.
Did you literally ask him if he wanted to go out for that fourth one?
I literally asked him. I walked over. He was in the kicking net. He was coming back towards the field. I said, "Hey, what do you think?" He's like, "I got this." And so I was like, "All right, you got it. Go do it."
If you had seen any flinch,
if I would have felt anything, we would have gone for it. But there was never a doubt in his mind. So I trust him. He's been doing it a really long time at a really high level. He's made a lot of clutch kicks for us, and it was just, it's part of the story. What a great team win.
Did you ask him because you were on the fence and you didn't have a gut feeling, or what?
Well, it's just, I think, between both sides, right? You see so many kicks that are just a hair off. But also just the situation, when it's 4th and inches and you got a lot of confidence in your offense to be able to convert that. I did what I thought in my gut was the right thing to do, and thankfully he delivered.
No flinch with Mason, but as you're watching the first kick, he's still got the consecutive streak record for the franchise. And the second and third and fourth, what are you thinking each successive time he goes up?
Well, I never think that he's not going to come through and not going to make it. I always believe. And so when it doesn't go in, it's kind of a shock. So, but, it was one of those days. But ultimately, when we needed it most, he got it done.
Offensive line's very mismatched. You're missing 3 starters. What can you say about how they played?
Oh man, those guys. We are so fortunate. Number one, to have the group that we have. So fortunate to have the coaches that we have in that room, Steno and Buckus. Zetz is in there as well. But it's a pleasure to come to work with these guys each and every day. These guys are always ready to battle. I couldn't be more proud of them. The one, I guess, silver lining about this whole thing is, you're developing some young guys in the process of this that you never know what this game, especially at the end of the year, what it can come down to. And, it's great for the development of a lot of those guys. And but we're lucky to have just great people that will battle, and they put it all in each and every week, just the amount of work that goes into it, and really happy for that room.
You got a 200-yard game, and I think it's like the question you're getting. How crazy is it that the guy has such a monster day and it's still not on the list?
Well, yeah, and I I could feel him early, and I could tell like he's a guy that's hungry for the football, and he shows good reason why. I mean, he's got people draped all over him. It doesn't matter. He finds a way to do it every time. He is. There's a reason he's got that 99 rating, in Madden. So he is a baller. I don't think there's anybody better than him. We're fortunate to have him. But again, he does such a great job throughout the week. Just the way he prepares, the way he takes care of his body, the way his mind works, the rapport that he has with our quarterback. And he is as resilient as they come as well. So just really happy for his success. And, that's, like he said, that's the standard for him.
Misses piled up on both sides. Were you able to watch the kicks when they were lining up, when you were lining up, and how did you watch them if you were?
Just like you did, man. I was holding my breath every time. But I certainly, anytime the game's on the line, you're always watching the kick. There was a lot of different things going on in my head. Do I look at the scoreboard? Do I watch the kick live? Always trying to think in terms of not trying to be too superstitious, but what did I do last time? Let me do the opposite. No, it was definitely a very exciting game.
Did you feel like you guys had a chance or two on offense to put the game away, and what do you think happened there?
Yeah, absolutely. There were multiple times I think that we could have put the game away offensively, and probably got a little too conservative, I would say, especially with the guys that we have, trying to just grind it out. But thankfully the game went long enough that they covered for me.
Aaron had a very un-Aaron-like start. What did you see from him from the second quarter on?
Oh, he was lights out from there on out, and there's a lot that goes into that. So it doesn't just solely fall on his shoulders. So, but he continues to make big time throws throughout the course of the game, and that's why he's the best.
And what have you learned about your defense after week 1 happened?
Yeah, I tell you what, you got to love how those guys battle. I thought our defense played outstanding against some really good players, and did Cincinnati have some big time moments? Absolutely. That certainly can't allow the play to happen right before the half. I think it's hard to cover if you're covering for a long period of time. It felt like it was like 10 seconds, but I think our guys up front, they thought they heard something that a check, which is a check that we have, but not necessarily the Bengals have. So, we just didn't rush the passer in that situation. And if you give a guy like that much time, he's going to make you pay. And, I got a lot of respect for Joe Burrow. I tell you what a competitor. I thought for sure after he took that hard hit, and I was like, man, there's no way he's going to come back. But that dude is as tough as they come, as resilient as they come. It's not a surprise to me why he's the number 1 pick. I know how Zach feels about him, and man, I'll tell you what, he showed it. So he's a really good young quarterback, and I think he's going to get better and better and better. And then you combine that with just some of the weapons they have over there. I was really impressed by Chase. I thought he's just a big physical. He's a baller.
You saw their kicker celebrating. Did you think the game was over at that point?
I did not see their kicker celebrating, to be honest with you. So all I was doing was watching the kick. Was that the one that hit the upright? Yeah. I just watched the kick, and I saw it.
No, it didn't hit the upright. It was the one that went.
Okay. Yeah. No, all I did was watch the kicks, and then I looked at the officials, and I thought I saw, a miss, but you never quite know, or you're never quite sure until you see the officials, because just the angles depends on the angle where you're sitting. But no, I didn't see him celebrating.
Jumped into the arms of his holder. We thought.
That's going to be on a Football Follies video, huh?
I don't know if it's just because right next to your locker room, but it's rare that we hear a response like that post-game. And what, is that a pretty typical response to just any win? And what do you say to them to get them so fired up?
I think these guys are number one. You can never take a win for granted in this league, no matter how it comes. And certainly, it always feels better when, it's not. There's a lot to clean up and a lot to improve upon, but you'd rather do that with a win. But I think these guys are genuinely happy for each other's success. And when you see guys like Mercedes Lewis taking a screen pass down the sideline, and just, there's so many guys. Devondre Campbell flying all over the field, Adrian Amos. These guys get excited for each other's success. Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, all the guys. And, you're just kind of spitting out just great moments within the game, and they're cheering for one another. And that's exactly what you want. The closer that locker room becomes, the more resilient that locker room becomes, the tougher we become as a football team. And so that's what we're gonna keep stressing, and just totally proud of everybody in that locker room, from coaches, players, the support staff. We got the right kind of people here, and we got to continue to build upon that. And we know that it's never easy. It's not going to be easy. We got a great challenge next week in Chicago, and we just got to keep taking this sucker one game at a time.
After the San Fran game, Aaron talked about how the team was learning how to win. After a game like this, does it kind of sink in? This team just thinks it will win, it will find a way?
Yeah, I think like I said earlier, I don't think these guys ever for 1 second didn't believe that we could get this thing done, even when it was looking bleak at moments. And certainly we got to do a better job, and it starts with me, in terms of when we have the ability to close out a game, we got to come through and do that. So there's a lot to clean up, but much rather do that after a win than being on the other side of it.